The Libido Doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Suzanne, and today I would like to talk about side chicks. Guys, this is a topic, it wasn't in my mind, and the Lord really wanted me to talk about this. I don't know who is supposed to hear this. I don't know why I was pressured, the whole afternoon. God was like, you need to talk about this. I thought I have nothing to say. He said, no, I will teach you and I will tell you what to say. So everything, even the sequence of what I'm talking about is not coming from me. There will be some information that will trigger many. Don't come after me. Go to God. If you're a spiritual person, you are supposed to talk to God and weigh every information you hear. Okay? I'm just a messenger. All right. So that's out of the way. Now, open your ears and pay attention. Christians, I want you to sit down and listen carefully. Please, men and women, come sit down. Come and listen. All right. Who is a side chick? A side chick is a decent lady, sometimes a churchgoer, who falls in love with a married man and gets involved with him romantically. This should not be confused with a strange or stranger woman whose end result is the destruction of the man's soul. It could be a prostitute, it could be a demonic woman, it could be a satanic agent sent to target the man, And if you read the book of Proverbs, you will see different passages that talk about this strange woman who, compels the man to come to her, but the end of it is death. I asked the Lord, is this adultery? I just talked about adultery. You just taught me about it. He said, yes, it is. And I was like, so is this not sin? Yes, it is. But God is so merciful. He has options that I will discuss for any man in a side chick situation to get out of adultery. But before we get there, let's follow everything we need to know, okay? So the first question I asked, because I didn't really know, I don't know what would cause a man to look for a side chick. And I was thinking, maybe he's not happy in his marriage. So I asked God, Father, what are the reasons? He said 4. First one, spirit of lust that came into a man through pornography, masturbation, a spirit or spiritual wife. Now I asked God, is there a difference between spirit or spiritual wife? He said no. They all operate in the spirit realm. It could be an actual spirit. It could be a human, like a witch. These kind of people who have the spirit of lust, they go for any woman just to get a release. All right? The second type of reasons, and this is in order, okay? The second type of reason why a man would look for a side chick is if the wife has deficits in her attributes. Please go look for the video I did about the attributes of a wife, because they are in 3 orders: spiritual, soul, and body. Now, I asked the Lord, are there any deficits in the spiritual attributes that would cause a man to look for another wife? The Lord said no, because everybody was blessed in Genesis 1:28. So the spiritual attributes have no deficits. Okay? We might not understand how to pull them and bring them to the physical realm, but they have no deficits. The deficits are either in the soul or the body. Listen carefully. How do they manifest? Deficit in the soul is going to be that this woman married the man under unconditional love. So she loved him for a reason, and maybe that reason is not happening anymore, and something will happen. But when your relationship is conditional from the beginning, that's your foundation. There's no way you can change. And with time, the soul of this man is going to get weary, and he's going to feel like he's not at his place. Okay, so that will cause him to look for someone else, because his soul is yearning for something else. It could be that there is no acceptance. Acceptance is at a soul level. If as a wife you're not able to see the soul of a man, to really know who he is behind his body, you will never know him, and that will cause incompatibilities or rejection. It could be that there is no consideration because you still don't see the soul. You don't really know who that person is. It could also be distrust. Trust is an attribute of the soul. Okay? And it could also be arguments. Arguments because there is no harmony. The spirits that are spoken are spirits of discord. They are spirits of criticism. They are spirits of oppression. All right? So these are the soul attributes that are deficient in a wife that could cause her husband to look for someone else. Now, the physical deficits in the attributes of the wife could be that her body type, whatever the man looked at first, faded, and she's not attractive anymore. And the second reason here is that the sexual intercourse is not fulfilling. Maybe the woman just does it as an obligation. There's no passion, there's no love, there's no real exchange, and nothing is happening. And it's really through sexual intercourse that many of the womb's blessings are released to the man. Or because of that, the man may notice that he's stagnating, he's not achieving much, so he's going to go look for another woman that can help him get that achievement, that can bless him through her womb. The third reason a man can look for a side chick is if he's under a love spell. Okay? Now we coming back to a strange woman who has targeted him. The fourth reason why a man could look for a side chick is soul ties with past relationship partners. All right? So those are the four reasons. Spirit of lust, deficits in the wife's attributes, love spell, or soul ties. Now, how is a man to behave with the side chick? I tell you, God is very precise. Number one, she has to be completely hidden. Nobody should know or even suspect that there is something going on between the two of them. Meaning that the wife should never know or hear that there is another woman somewhere. Even if somebody comes to tell her, the man is not supposed to give money to the girl. No money for clothes, no money for hair, no money for cream, no money for rent, no money for phone, zero money, nothing. For at least the first 3 months of the relationship, 3 months, so that's what the Lord said. For the first 3 months of the relationship, no money of any kind to the girl. What this is going to do is going to quickly sift who is there for what. Then after the 3rd month, if they are having relationship sexual, the man should already begin to see a change in his life. If it's a woman that carries grace, blessings, anointing, he will begin to see multiplication. He will begin to have ideas on how to do different things. And the relationship will be harmonious. All right? So after 3 months, what he must do, this is a must, is not conditional. He must begin to help this woman to build the blessings in her hands. Help her figure out what she has and help her set that up. You know, if she does hair, he must set her up a hair place. If she does cooking, he must set her up a restaurant. If she does sewing, he must set her up a little place where she can sew and people take command. He must do that. That's what the Lord said. Because this woman is giving him blessings from her womb. So he has to help her in return. So she's not just empty-handed. But there's no sleepover. He should never sleep over there. There should be no babies. And the girl must respect the man's family's boundaries. She should be hiding. This is the definition of a side chick. Okay? According to the Lord, oh, I'm telling you. Now, who is committing adultery here? I already told you it's the man, because he's the one who is married. Now, this side chick, usually they are single. Hopefully she's single and she's not attached to another man. Therefore, she has to remain faithful to this married man. I always tell you that a woman is connected to one man at a time. One man. If this girl goes and sleeps with another guy, she's committing adultery. But while she is with the married man, she's committing fornication. Okay? God is very precise. Now, what can be the outcomes of a relationship like this? There are 3 of them, and you'll be shocked. The first one is breakup. Because there are 3 of those relationships that require deliverance. The guy who is under the spirit of lust must get deliverance. And once he gets his deliverance, he's going to stop going after women left and right. The guy who is under the love spell must get deliverance. Once he gets the deliverance, that love spell is broken. He's going to run away from the lady. The person under the soul tie with the past relationship, he also needs to get the soul ties broken. Is a form of deliverance. Now, the only other reason is the wife deficit. Wife deficit, they are in 2 categories. Deficits in the soul, deficits in the body. If the reason of the side chick is because the wife has deficits in her body, the best solution is for this wife to level up. Try to fit back what is attractive to the man physically. Then they have to work together. They have to go to counseling. They have to do this. They have to do that in order to bring back, passion and fire into the marriage. And part of what I do as Libido Doc is really what I do. I have a lot of products that can help married women, cute little things for the night, little creams, just a lot of little different things. Just go look at my website, libido.doctor, and you will have a lot of information, or look at the description. This really pertains to the wife who has physical deficits. Okay, they can work it out. It might take a little bit of time, but she will learn and she can keep her husband to herself. Now, when it is a soul deficit, God himself allows the man to have 2 options. The first option is to make the woman a concubine. The second option is to make the woman a wife. Dan, 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 ging, gang, ging, gang, ging. Don't come at me. Go to the Lord. Let me explain what he told me. Okay. Who is the concubine? The concubine now is going to be the side chick that is not hidden anymore, but she is exposed. Everybody knows her. He can even introduce her to his own family. He can have children with her, and he must get her a house. Now he's going to be responsible for her shelter, for her bills, and continue to help her with developing her business on the side so she's independent. Okay, this is who the concubine is. He doesn't go to any place to marry her, but officially he claims her. Voila. The side chick was hidden, the concubine is exposed. And I tell you, God allows it in one and only one condition: when the wife in the house has soul deficits, meaning that this wife was not paired to the man properly, and she's probably not his soulmate, right? Making the side chick a wife means he's going to marry her. I asked God, Father, what is this? I'm talking to Christians. He said, yes, I understand. I asked, does this man need to divorce? He said, no, he doesn't need to divorce, and he doesn't have to. All right. There are two scenarios. If the man married at church first, go look at my video on adultery. You will understand the difference between getting married at church first or at a different altar first. If he got married at church first and God was the one binding that marriage, this man, first of all, cannot even divorce because God will not conduct the spiritual divorce. But two, he cannot bring another woman before God to get married at church. He cannot. The only thing he can do is marry her at the law court. Why? Because then he will protect the children and their inheritance. And she will be able to keep whatever she has built with the man that belongs to her. Okay, I said, Father, this is polygamy now. The Bible says one man, one woman. He said, yeah. That's what I said. One man, one woman. Polygamy is having multiple wives and multiple marriages that were bound before the same spirit. But God said, I will not bind another marriage if there was already one done at church. So polygamy is not necessarily having multiple wives. Polygamy is having multiple marriages in front of the same spirit. So then I went back and I was like, okay, Solomon had 700 wives, 300 concubines. Was he in adultery? Father said no. Was he a polygamist? He said no, because he married women from different countries, different kingdoms, different spirits, different things. So Solomon was safe. Yeah. The reason why God got mad at him is because he was worshiping other gods. Do you see the mystery behind the story of Solomon now? Second scenario. The man got married first at the dowry altar, like people do a lot back in Africa. It means that the Lord did not bind this marriage. Therefore, he can take this side chick and marry her at church, and God will bless and bind the marriage, because this man is not married before him before. He has never been married before the Lord, because his first marriage was at the dowry altar. So if he takes this second one, he can totally marry at church. He must not do a dowry ceremony, but he can give a gift to the family. He can do the gift even before the marriage at church. Okay? And that's it. Oh my God. God is amazing. That's it. Now, what is the main wife, the very first one that was married, to do? Okay, remember that this option of making the woman a concubine or a wife is only available before God if there is a soul deficit. There's conditional love, there's not acceptance, there's too much this, too much that. It's not going to work. Because when that happens, there is a hampering in the divine mission. Okay? So, what is the main wife to do in different scenarios? Number one, if it's a real side chick, she's not even supposed to know. She will not know. She has to keep quiet. If the man decides to make the side chick a concubine, that first wife has to accept. And even if he wants to make that other woman the wife, the first main wife really cannot deny him that right. Each wife must have her own place. The man must have a house for the first one, a house for the second one. The lifestyle should not drop for the first one. Her needs should not drop. Her bills should not be cut off. Nothing. So before you go do something like that, make sure your pocket is agreeing with your goals. Okay? Each wife must have her own personal investment. Okay? Because I told you the blessings in her hand. When she was even a side chick, the man was already helping her to set up. So that personal investment remains hers. She has to keep it and continue to work it out, increase it, diversify whatever she wants to do. And then 3, each wife must have her own legacy for the husband. You cannot be this second wife they married and you come and want to sit on what the first wife built. No. Not at all. You cannot claim any of the things she has done. What it can be: houses, mansions, cars, businesses. No, you cannot claim any of that as the wife coming. You have to begin to build the man. You have to understand how to lift him up. Because if God has agreed to this marriage, and if you even lucky for God to bind this marriage at church, he will bless your womb so much for this man. You don't need to look at what the other woman did. Just take your husband from where he is and propel him from the next level according to your capacity. Okay, it's not a competition. It's divine destiny fulfillment. All right. So you have to live in peace. And ideally, you can even be in the same city. It's up to the man to manage his 2 homes. Or 3. I don't know. 3 if he has his own personal home and the women have their own houses and he goes from his to theirs. Okay? That's make 3. Okay. So now, I ask the Lord, there are some women, wives, who say, over my dead body will another woman touch my husband. I asked him, is that normal? He said, no. And sometimes you can even hear men who say that if another woman looks at me or tries to come to me, my wife will kill you. No, you are setting up your wife for death. Because when you say that, You are compelling this woman to go look for solutions to actually fulfill what you said. This is very dangerous because you will send your wife to another altar. God does not allow that. That's number one. But there are some other women who will go behind the scene and connect with the witchcraft altar to attack the side chick or the concubine. And how will you know? Okay, you will notice a pattern. If you are a man who already had more than one side chick, you will notice a pattern. And what will be the pattern? Because your initial wife has to attack the femininity of her rival. Number one, the rival at some point will begin to have issues with her femininity, meaning she's going to have irregular menses or heavy bleeding in order to prevent you to even sleep with her. She will begin to have issues with her private area, maybe rashes, itching. Her skin is going to be attacked because your wife is trying to dim her beauty. Number three, she's going to begin to have spiritual diseases because spirits will be projected to her to eat up her energy, to eat up her joy. So you don't benefit from that. Now you go there and you have to solve problems. Okay? And then the other thing is that some of those women really kill the side chicks. How do they kill them? They attach the spirit of death. And it's usually premature death. How does premature death occur? Because she's not going to go poison her. She's going to attach her to the seat of death through an accident. It will be a plane crash. It will be a train collision. Only that girl will die. It will be a car accident. Only that girl will die. Or even others. But that girl will die through an accident. But before the accident, there will be signs of spiritual diseases in her femininity. When you are a man and you see that pattern, you better know it's your wife. And the problem is that many men get accused of being ritualist or stealing the life of women and their stars and all of that. But the real truth is that is the wife hiding behind him. And she would rather have her husband get a bad rep and she is quiet and she says, my marriage, I am not losing my marriage. I don't care what happens. But it's not normal because even God has allowed. Hey. Anyway. I said what I said. I did what the Lord asked me to do in all obedience. If you have questions, please put your knees down. Ask God. Ask Him to give you revelation. Ask Him to give you dreams. Ask Him if what this girl is talking about is even true. Does it make sense? Ask God. And what I will do, I'm going to write a booklet about this because there's a lot of information. I'm going to write a booklet about adultery, side chicks. There's so much I need to unpack, but I can only do it as He releases and allows me. Okay? So this was kind of long, but I believe that is informative. All right? Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.